Today I'm chatting with Ben Black from Total Home Inspections about timber pest and structural building inspections, two of the most important conditions that you should include on every purchase contract. Hi Ben, thanks for coming on to Perth Property Hub today.
Thanks Kerry, thanks for the invitation.
So something I'm really interested to find out from you is the building inspection industry regulated?
Unfortunately it's not. So the industry, there's a 2-day course you can sit. You may not have any building experience and you can sit this 2-day course and you get given a builder's inspector's licence. So currently there's hairdressers, real estate agents, mortgage brokers running around doing building inspections in Perth they've never built a home or have no qualifications in the building industry. So yeah, unfortunately it's not a regulated industry.
Wow, that's something I never knew, and as you know, I'm a mortgage broker, and I wouldn't contemplate going to try and do somebody's home inspection. That's just crazy that can happen. So what are your qualifications then?
I'm a qualified carpenter and a registered builder, so yeah, been working for building companies over the years, and having that, I guess, understanding of the building codes and industry, that experience certainly helps when identifying any structural issues throughout a home.
So something really important for people when they're looking who to engage to do their pest and building inspection is to firstly make sure that they are qualified.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the most critical point I can really highlight to anyone when purchasing a home. The cheapest quote from a building inspector probably means that they don't have the qualifications. As registered builders, we need to pay our fees every year to the Building Commission to keep our quality, our licence up to date. So yeah, just check the licence or qualifications of your building inspector. Make sure they're a registered builder.
So what are you looking for when you do a timber pest inspection?
So when we're doing timber pest inspection, we're looking for 3 main items or timber pests. One is termites or white ants. The second is fungal decay, and the third is borer. So there's 3 items that can, or species that can attack and affect the structural integrity of timber throughout the home. So we do get clients asking, do you check for mice or spiders or cockroaches, but they don't attack timber. So yeah, it's just those 3 items that we check, or three species.
So if you inspected a property and there was termites, active termites in a tree stump on the property, not in the building itself, who's responsible for eradicating those termites?
The buyer would be responsible for that, so they would need to eradicate the termites once they take ownership of the property. If termites are found in the roof structure or the property itself, then the seller would need to eradicate and fix any of the defects. But if it's in a stump or any tree around the property, then the buyer needs to do that when they move into the property.
Okay. So Ben, what are you looking for when you do that pre-purchase structural inspection?
Areas that we're looking at, one is the floor or slab of the property. If it's an older home, it potentially could have a timber frame subfloor. So we'll actually crawl under the home itself, have a look around, make sure that the foundations are stable and secure. We also check the walls, the internal and exterior walls, for any cracking or structural problems. We also jump into the roof void itself. That's the one area that we always find most of our structural issues, more so compliance issues, making sure that the roof structure is tied down, and also making sure that it's compliant to the building codes at the time of construction. So a 50-year-old home doesn't need to comply to today's building codes, but then again a 5-year-old home does. So making sure you understand the Australian standards and the building codes at the time of construction of the home.
And are there different levels of packages that you offer? And what do they include?
Yeah, there is, yeah. So there's the structural inspection, which I mentioned. We also do what's called an essentials inspection. So we check all the structural items, but this one's more in line with the REWA contract. So making sure that electrical and plumbing items are in working order. So we go and check power points, lights, air conditioning, appliances and taps, and items like that throughout the home to make sure that they're in working order. If they're not, we point that out to the buyer in our report. We also do what's called a premium inspection. So we check all the items regarding electrical and structural and plumbing. But we also check, it's more of a maintenance inspection, that one, where we're checking doors, door hardware, cabinetry, tiling, and items like that, which are more of a general maintenance item, and it gives our clients a bit of a maintenance list to tick off over the coming years.
That's something that I have a lot of conversations with my clients about, is you do a building inspection for them and you might not find any structural issues, but you list all of these maintenance items, which I think is fantastic, because as a buyer, at least they're aware of what items actually need a bit of attention.
Yeah.
But the seller is not obliged to rectify any of those, are they?
That's correct, yeah. So we'll actually make comment under each photo to say it's general maintenance only, just so the buyer's aware that these are just that general maintenance. Certainly if there's a structural defect, it'll be spelled out loud and clear in the report, but yeah, those maintenance items are just that, maintenance.
So Ben, what's the associated risk if someone decides not to get that building inspection done?
The risk is, well, obviously there could be potential structural problem, a wall could fall down, or the roof could collapse. That's the most critical issue. But secondly, if you do sell that home later on down the track and you haven't had a structural building inspection, well, you will be liable to fix any of those structural defects that are identified by potentially another inspector coming in for that new buyer. So you are up for the cost of that. So for $350 for an inspection, it's really worth the money, because a lot of the defects or structural defects are a lot more than $350. So yeah.
Absolutely. And another thing that you offer is that inspection for the seller. So if they want to actually get the inspection done before they put their house on the market, is that something you also offer?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so we do a pre-sale inspection. So that one's exactly that. Before the home hits the market, we'll come in, do a building and termite inspection, make sure that the home is structurally sound, and then that seller can give that report to potential buyers to say, look, it's been inspected by a registered builder and been signed off. Another factor is if we do find a structural issue, then the seller can have that fixed before it hits the market. It's not this mad panic 2 weeks out prior to settlement, which is quite common, trying to fix structural defects, and especially the building industry at the moment, trying to find the right trades. It's really hard. So yeah, having a bit more time up your sleeve to be able to fix any issues certainly takes the pressure off the seller.
I think that's really valuable, and that's something I hadn't actually considered recommending any of my clients until you explained to me how that works. And I totally get where you're coming from, because so many times, as you say, we get that building inspection back and we might only have 2 weeks until settlement's due. And as you say, with the pressure that the building industry is under at the moment with trades, trying to get that rectified before settlement is really stressful and often pushes the settlement time frame out. So that's a really valuable thing for people to look at doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's quite big on the East Coast. The East Coast, they do a lot of that, the pre-sale inspection.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much for coming on to Perth Property Hub today, Ben. That was really interesting information that you shared with our viewers. Thank you.
Thanks, Kerry. I appreciate the invitation.